Now, moving on to the NBA Finals. Finally, it's here. After all the talking, all of the speculation on whether or not there would even be like an NBA continuation of a season, we're finally here. And what a storyline, man. I mean, we're getting on one side, we're getting LeBron James, one of the greatest players of all time, looking in to go and secure his fourth ring and build upon his legacy, playing for the Los Angeles Lakers back for the first time in a decade in the NBA Finals, arguably the greatest franchise of all time. On the same year that arguably the greatest player of all time passes away, LeBron James looking to secure another, championship for the organization, the first time since Kobe, did it 10 years ago. And looking to also build upon his own legacy with that championship. And on the other side, you have the Cinderella team from Miami, the team that wasn't supposed to be here, a team led by Jimmy Butler, who was seen as a problem in Minnesota, seen as the guy who in Chicago couldn't get it done by himself, couldn't get it done.
I mean, he's his whole story in his own, dude.
And couldn't get it done in Philly. Philly chose Tobias Harris over him. People said him going to Miami was a money move. They said, go have fun in Miami. You're not going to win anything. And instead, here they are. You know what? They're just the underdog.
Even before the NBA, man. He's the underdog.
Exactly.
He's been the underdog his whole life. He's been the underdog.
His whole life has been the underdog, and now he's leading the underdog squad, led by a bunch of rookies, old vets who are told that they're too old, like Iguodala and even Udonis Haslem, who's still a very important role in that leadership of that team.
Dude, he put in some work a couple of games ago.
Yeah, like leading rookies like Tyler Hero and a bunch of dudes who just they weren't seen as top dudes, and yet here they are. They lost a grand total of 3 games throughout the entire Eastern Conference. It's the same amount of games that the Lakers lost. But guess what? One of them is a 5 seed and one of them is a 1 seed. And I'll throw it straight to you, man. Who do you got in this amazing series, which we never thought we'd see?
I just want to see it. I think it'd be a beautiful story. I want change in the history, even though there'd be a lot of great historical things happen if it happened on the other end. I'm picking Heat in 7, man.
Really? You're going Heat in 7?
Heat in 7. 6 or 7, but I'm picking 7 just because.
Greatest NBA Finals upset of all time?
No, I mean there's been other ones. I don't think this would be the craziest one.
I think it would be.
I think those Pistons. I think that Pistons team from 2003, 2004. I was here at the year.
That's a good point.
That's still one of the biggest ones ever.
That's one of the biggest ones, but I think this would totally be
it'd be up there. It'd be up there. I wouldn't say upset because this was an interesting year. There's interesting teams, and obviously
still a 5v1 though.
Yeah, no, true, but still, how are the standings looking? They ended at 5. They could have arguably been 4 or 3 depending how the season went for them. You know what I mean? So it's not the craziest thing.
But still, I can't remember the last time I saw a 5 seed in the NBA Finals to even begin with.
We're gonna have to go back and do some research in our free time about that. I'm kind of curious. We'll do that after the podcast. I don't want to do it right now.
But man, I saw because the Lakers really, full credit to them. They were playing a really tough Denver team, and a lot of people picked Denver for the upset. I know once Denver went down 3-1, everybody's like, "Oh man, Denver's going to the finals."
They're doing it again. Nah,
they're gonna do it again. Nah, man. LeBron is playing like a man possessed. AD's hungry. They're playing like they need that championship, man. They know how important this is.
Dude, credit where credit's due, though. Game 2, 103-105, close.
No, extremely close.
And then
many of those games are close.
Yeah, they won the next game. They could have arguably been 1-2 up right there. 114-108. Once again, could have had that 3-1 lead. Last game, 107-117, lost by 10.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, they had some very close games in that series.
Yeah,
but
this could have easily been Nuggets versus Heat right now.
Absolutely. But the way that I look at it, man, LeBron is playing like a man possessed. AD looks phenomenal, and my bold prediction, and I did not want to do this because as much as I would love to see the Heat win, man. That'd be one of the most incredible underdog stories I've ever seen. Jimmy Butler getting his first ring, dude, like that'd be insane to topple, some just the MVP, one of the top teams in the East Conference of Boston, knocking out, the Bucks as well, and then beating 2 of the top 5 players in the league with AD and LeBron. What a story that'd be. I don't think it goes down that way. I got LeBron and AD and the Lakers in 5. That's my bold prediction, man. They look incredible. They look like a team possessed. They know how important this is. I don't think, in 2011, whenever LeBron's going into the finals, he looked like he was underestimating the Mavs. I don't think he's going to underestimate anybody this time. I don't feel the Lakers are going to underestimate anybody. I think that just this is going to be a very defensive series. I feel like nobody's going to really go off.
Could be
Obviously,
so wrong. You could be so wrong, but so right too. You're not even
totally.
wrong.
But I think these teams match up very evenly.
When does
That's
this
what
get
I'm trying
uploaded?
to say. Huh?
When does this get uploaded?
Friday.
Friday. Okay, so by then it'll be game 2. So today's game 1. It's the 30th when we're recording this.
And well, I guess what I'm trying to say, I didn't mean to say that nobody's going to go off. Obviously, people are going to go off.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
That's totally how it is. But I just
No, but I
don't
know what you
think
mean.
games are going to be close. All the games. But I do think the Lakers are going to pull them down the stretch and probably win 5 or 6. But yeah, so I mean, just like this is an extremely important series for both legacies. I mean, how important do you think this is for LeBron's legacy in particular? Because obviously, he's guys like Jimmy Butler are trying to build their legacy right now. But overall, how important do you think this is for somebody like LeBron and AD trying to build upon their legacy?
I think for LeBron, dude, until he can't produce anymore, no one's gonna say anything. No one will question him. You know what I mean? As long as LeBron is still able to produce, people will always be like, and that kind of, and I don't need to get into that, all the LeBron stands, whatever. But you know what I mean? As long as LeBron doesn't, as LeBron still produces and still does his thing, people will always be like, it's just adding on more and more. Once LeBron slows down and doesn't win, like there's a noticeable, digression in his gameplay, that's when everybody will be like, oh, LeBron's aging.
Yeah.
I'm right too.
No, you're right. I agree.
I know it's kind of shitty, because not everybody gets that luxury, right? But it'll happen.
Yeah.
So as long as LeBron continues to produce, that's when everything that goes into his legacy, like anything that happens in his legacy, will only help him. You know what I mean?
That's true.
But until LeBron, and let's just say hypothetically, going into this game, LeBron looks, slower. His age shows. He's not as, we'll be like, well, LeBron, this and that, they'll defend him, right? But until then, it's only adding more on, and he does that every year. And this is a big year for him. It's
an extremely big year.
So we don't know what's gonna happen after this year. We say, man, he's getting older. We don't know when it's gonna slow down. We really don't know. Like Shannon Sharp says, he went to Wakanda. He got that adamantite. He got the suit. Like we don't know when he'll slow down. But as far as the series, man, this is going to be a crazy one. It's tonight. I am definitely going to be actively watching more. It's a lot easier now that it's only one game, not multiple games. I know there was only 2 games last time, but I try to keep up. But now it's so much easier. I'll be able to talk about each game individually better. And oh man, I don't know what to say, man. Tonight's the night.
Yeah, tonight's the night. Dexter Morgan-esque. Yeah, man, it's going to be an awesome matchup. It's going to be an amazing series. So can't wait to come back and be